Good morning everybody. Today I'm at Canon Lakes in mid Wales. It's a fantastic spot. We've got these lakes, we've got this big mountain in the background. Well, it's not that big, but a little mountain in the background. And today I thought I'd try out a 30-year-old camera. I've got the Canon AE1. It's a fantastic SLR camera. I've got a 28mm, 50mm, 100mm, and then a 70 to 210 as well. And also some really noisy geese. I have got just basic colour film, 35mm, ISO 200. It has been so long since I've done this, so I've just got to remember how to actually do it. Good. Yeah, that's pulling along. Right. I haven't shot properly on film since around about 1998. So I just wanted to try this out and to see whether digital photography has improved my photography skills drastically or kind of eaten away at them. With the AE1, it does have a light meter built into the camera. So there is a needle on the side when you look through the viewfinder showing you what aperture to choose for the shutter speed that you pick. Going to try and frame the shot up a little bit better. Now I'm going to put this mountain bang in the middle of the frame. So the next thing is focus, which is a bit tricky. I think it's about there. So it really is a case of checking everything before you take the photograph. I'm so glad I set the ISO for what the film was. Obviously you can't change ISO in film. And then it was going through the process of seeing what the meter says inside. I'm not bringing a light meter. I'm not going to do any of that jazz. I'm using the meter inside the camera, just seeing what it's like to use this camera like we use digital cameras today. It's halfway between f11 and f16. I'm at 1/125th of a second. Right, time to take the photograph. Half between 16 and 22 now. The other thing is, I don't know what that photo will look like. You'll see the photos way before I do. It's really bringing back memories of when I used to shoot with film, but it's a lot of fun. Now, one thing that film doesn't cope too well with are high dynamic ranges. But I'm going to see how this copes with this scene in front of me. It's basically the sun catching the lake, Cadaridorus in the background, and the sun in the shot. So I'm getting 1/1000th of a second, so the fastest the shutter will go at maybe f16. Have a look to see. Wow. So if the sun's not in the shot and I'm just pointing it down at the lake, it is around about f16. So I'm going to put it on f22. It'll probably be a horrible shot, but I want to try just to see what it's like, because sometimes with digital I take shots like this. Wow. Oh, that was hard to look at. And that's probably not advisable either. I was surprised at how this one came out. The Sunstar effect looks good, but there is obviously a reflective surface within the camera, giving that brighter line down the right-hand side of the frame. If you do take a shot like this, be really careful where you look, and don't do it with a telephoto lens. But I was on a 28mm, nice wide-angle lens, so it's not going to damage my eye, and I didn't look at the sun in the frame either. What an awesome day I've got here. I did check the forecast. I planned it as normal. Could do with a little bit more cloud in the sky, but beggars can't be choosers. So let's say, well, I'm shooting at 28mm. 1/60th of a second will be fine. And that'll give me f11. Might have to go a bit faster. 1/125th of a second. And f8. I'm happy with those settings. What I'm going to do is put this island bang in the middle of the shot. Hopefully that one will be a good one. Now I've got the 70 to 210mm on. It's a proper old school lens, and it's got the tuber kind of zoom function on it. Problem with that is that's the focus as well. So I'm going to have to be really careful not to knock the focus out of place. I'll change it to f8, 1/250th of a second, and focus is good. Right, let's try one at 210. See what that's like. So that's f5.6, 1/250th. Obviously there's no image stabilization in this. At 210 millimeters, I can really see the movement of my hands. So hopefully 2/50th of a second is a fast enough shutter speed to get rid of that movement. There's a bunch of trees over there. And as long as the wind doesn't catch the water and ruffle it up too much, should be able to get a good shot. Although I've probably just jinxed it by saying that. It's fantastic coming out and shooting with film. I'm not going to turn into one of those film snobs, but it's good fun nevertheless. With digital photography, it's such a quick process, whereas with this, everything just slows down, and it is actually really nice, and it kind of forces you to relax, and it forces you to actually think about the photographs that you're taking. And that's the beauty of film. Everything slows down, you think about the shot, you think about your settings, it kind of forces you to think about the composition as well. Now this is where it's going to be a bit tricky. I've got my settings, there's this sheep walking up the hill here. I'm going to try and get a shot of him with this camera. It is going to be tricky because it's about capturing that moment. And he's completely ignoring me. Or should I say she? Come on, look up. Ah. This is why I don't photograph animals. Hello. Stay there. That's it, that's it. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Yeah, stay there, stay there. Yep, I'm not destined to be a wildlife photographer, especially with film. Now that light is coming in and out, the clouds are building up, and it's creating really nice pockets of light. But it's trickier to shoot on film with everything manual. Probably going to take a couple more shots. I'm on 23. I know quite a few of those aren't brilliant, but some of them hopefully will come out all right. But there are just some really interesting shapes in the light and in the layers. Ooh, that didn't feel too good. Note to self, don't put the thumb on that side when winding it on this way. In holding my thumb on the left-hand side, this actually stopped the film from clearing the last shot, giving me an overlap between the two shots. Shooting film really is bringing back some of those old feelings that I used to have in being so frustrated in not being able to know what I'd taken and how I'd taken it until maybe weeks down the line. Digital really does give you that instant feedback, and film really doesn't. Now, I actually had to come back to this location because it was so fantastic. It's the next morning. We've got quite a moody sunrise, and there are clouds on the top of the mountains. But again, got my film camera at photo number 30. I've already taken a photo of these trees silhouetted with the sun in the background, so I'm just going to try and get a shot of these layered mountains. The sun has gone behind the clouds, so I'm not going to get any more sunlight or any direct sunlight. Yeah, this scene is absolutely fantastic. Underexposed it because I know it's got a really bright background, and hopefully those layers will show out. Yeah, the light is going. See if I can get a shot of the boathouse. It really is hard working out your exposures without a proper light meter, and I can see why when people used to shoot with film, they'd have a handheld light meter, so you could get a reading of different parts of the scene that you're photographing. The meter inside this AE1 is okay, but it doesn't give you all of the information. Good fun though. And that is the end of the film. I can't pull it anymore. I'm not going to force it because I don't want to break that film. Now there is a button on the bottom. I've got to press that to release this side, and then I can wind everything back. Yeah, that button's pressed. That feels like it's winding. So that's basically putting all of the film and all of the exposures I've taken back into the roll. So I know when I pull this up now, all that film will be across. Yay! So that's an exposed roll ready to go. Now I thought having 36 exposures in a roll of film would be really limiting. And in the past, when I used to shoot film, it did feel absolutely limiting because it felt like I was changing the rolls all the time. However, I was shooting sports. But with the landscapes, it just gets you to slow down. And it does feel like you've got quite a few shots to go through. On the first day, I still had 10 shots to go. So I only took 24 images. Normally when I go out for a walk, I'm taking hundreds. So maybe this is teaching me a lesson in controlling the amount of times when I actually press the shutter button.